Okay, we're back again with another video in the series on how to build a website with WordPress. Just a quick recap. In the last video, we showed you how to change your WordPress theme and different ways to find a theme, and we showed you how to customize your theme. And in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to create a new website logo to put on your site, and we're going to do that with an online photo editor called Pixlr.com. Pixlr is great if you don't have Photoshop installed on your computer, and it's free. We're also going to create an icon with Pixlr.com also. I'll show you what that is in a minute. And then we're going to add both your logo and your icon to your website. So if you go to your site, right here in this area, that's where your logo will be. It'll replace that text. And up here at the top in your browser, that is your site icon. Your site icon will appear on a mobile phone. And you'll notice that my website already has a site icon. And that's because I recorded this video before and accidentally deleted it. So it stayed up there. But we'll show you how to do that. If we open up a new tab in our browser and go to www.pixlr.com. That's Pixlr.com. There's no E there. Well, once we get there, if you scroll down, you'll see Pixlr Editor. That's what we want. Click this Launch Web App button here. Okay, now we have some different options here. We can create a new image, and we can also open an image from our computer if we already have a logo that we want to just edit. We can also open an image from the web with a URL, and if we have an account, we can open it from the library. But we want to create a new image. Click on that button and give your logo a name. Just type website logo if you want, and you'll notice that by default it's set to 800 pixels wide and 600 pixels tall. That's actually going to create a pretty large image. So how do you know what size to make your logo? Unfortunately, you might have to experiment with this a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean. If you go back to your dashboard and you hover over Appearance and click Customize, in your Customize options, if you go to Travelify Main Options and then go to Header Options, your header logo options here, for a lot of themes, usually you'll see a certain size requirement for your logo. With this theme, you actually don't have any requirements, so it's kind of up to you how big or small you want to make your logo. And to make it look right, you may have to experiment with it a little bit. So if we go back to the Pixlr, I'm going to try it out starting out at 200 pixels wide and 70 pixels tall, and make that transparent. If you make, the reason you want that to be transparent is because if it's not, you might have a white box around your logo if you have a colored background, and it just doesn't look very good. So you definitely want that on transparent for logos. And click OK. Okay, and here's our canvas area that we're working with. It's kind of small and hard to see, so what we're going to do is drag from the bottom right corner here and make it a little wider. Now you'll notice that there are these different boxes here. This one is the Navigator, and from here you can see the XY coordinates of where your cursor is. Right there. You can also zoom in and zoom out. I'm going to zoom in here so I have a bigger area to work with. You also have a box here for layers. You'll notice right now we only have one layer, and it's the background layer, but we'll add some more to this in a second. And then the history box here shows you every change you make to your project, and you can go back and forth between changes if you need to. Okay, so if we start out with this letter A here, this is the type tool. Click on that and then click on the canvas there, this box will pop up and you can actually move this around and get it out of your way if you need to. But this is where you actually type what you want to appear. So here I'm going to type WordPress, and you should see it appear on your canvas as you type. Also, you can change the font of this word. I'm going to click and move this text box out of the way so I can see it here, and change my font to Adobe Hebrew, if I can find it here. There we go. Alright, and you'll see that if your word is actually cut off on the canvas, you can click on this arrow with the plus sign here, and you can move this word around wherever you need to on the canvas. Also, you'll notice that it creates a new layer here. You now have two different layers, and your background and your word. So also another way to move this object is if you press on your arrow keys up and down. You can move it 1 pixel at a time. You could also move it right and left by using those arrow keys. And if you hold the shift key and press the arrow key at the same time, it'll move this word 10 pixels at a time. So that's a little keyboard shortcut for you. Okay, so now if I click on this A tool again, the text tool, and click on the canvas here, I'm going to write tutorial. Okay, and I'm going to change this text to something called orator, however you say that. Okay, there it is. Alright, and now I can move this text to where I want to. And you'll notice it creates a new layer here. If your move tool is selected, you can move it around as long as that layer is selected. Same with WordPress. If you have to choose the layer in order to move it. Okay. Now if you click on the A tool and you click on a word, now I can look at changing the size of this. You'll notice that beyond a certain point, it won't let you increase the size anymore, and that's because the word isn't rasterized. But if you just make it as big as you can, it should be fine. Okay, so I'm going to move this up to the top, as close to the top as I can, and I'll go ahead and select my tutorial layer and move it up next to it. Now I'm going to choose the type tool again and change this font size for tutorial to maybe 20, 22, 23, because I want to have a little area here to put the PDF part. So I'll press OK. Alright, and choose the type tool again and click on the canvas. I'm going to type PDF. I'm going to change this one to a different font size as well. So I'm going to change this one to Roboto. Okay, and maybe change the font size a little bit smaller, maybe 20. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Okay, now we have a new layer for PDF, and I'm going to move the PDF over here, kind of line it up a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. Move my tutorial down a little bit more. Okay, I think that looks pretty good right there. So next part, I want to change the colors of this text. So if I go back up to my dashboard, should be on the customize area. We go back to the beginning, and under Travelify header area, this is where all your colors are that you're using on your website. I want to take this title color and keep that consistent. So I'll copy the color code here and go back to Pixlr. And if you click on your A tool, make sure WordPress is selected, and then click on WordPress. You can go here to the color and change the color. If you click here, now there's one thing to point out here, that if you right click and paste it into this box here, it actually won't change the color. You have to use a keyboard shortcut for that. So if you highlight that again and hit Control V on Windows or Command V on a Mac, you'll see that it actually changes the color. So keep that in mind. Okay, click OK, and that changes the WordPress part to that navy blue that we're using. Now click OK in the text box, and I'm going to go back to my dashboard and get this other blue color here. If we hit select color and copy this color code, and if you select the text here, there's another keyboard shortcut for you. If you hit Control C or on Windows or Command C on Mac, you will be able to copy that text to your clipboard. Okay, and make sure the tutorial tab is selected. The A tag button is still selected. Click on that and you can change your color here. Remember, it's Command V or Control V to paste, and click OK. Alright, now we got this light blue for the tutorial. If we want to change the PDF now, so we'll select that, right click on it. I'm actually just going to change this white, and we don't need a color code for that. We can just move this little circle here in the box all the way up to white. Your color code for white should be FFF, 6 Fs. Okay, now I'm going to click OK. Now it's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to put a red box behind that, so to show you how to make some shapes and stuff with your website. If you go to this drawing tool here and you click on that, you'll notice that the layer, it says the layer must be rasterized before to be editable. That's because these 3 layers you've created are words which aren't rasterized. So, but if you click on the layer, the background layer, layer 0 here, you'll have a different selection, and now these tools will be available. So you got a square, a square with rounded corners, circle, and a line tool. You can change the opacity. You can change the mode if you want. I'm going to leave it on normal. You can change the border size. This will make a black border around it with 1 pixel, so I'm going to change that to 0. And I want to fill the shape. And I want to fill the shape with this red color that I use on my site. So if I go back to my dashboard and copy the color code for this red shape and go back to Pixlr, I can go click on this box here and change the color, hit Command V, and it'll change it to the red. Okay, now I just create the shape here. I want the square tool, and I want it to be just slightly bigger than the PDF, so I'll click and drag here, and that will create my box. Okay, that's starting to look pretty good, but I want to move this a little bit. If I click the move tool, and I can move the box up and down, maybe 1 to the right. Okay, and I can also move the PDF. If I select the PDF layer, I can move that. So I want to move this text to the left just a little bit. Okay, I might just spend a moment kind of rearranging this here a little bit to get everything lined up the way I want it. So now you'll notice that you might have on your logo, you might have some space around your logo. If I zoom out here, you can see you have this extra space, and I don't want that there. or the case might be that you don't have enough space. So I'm going to show you a quick trick for changing your canvas size on this. If you go up to image here, you have image size and canvas size. If you click on canvas size, what this does is it'll keep all your layers intact but only stretch the workspace that you're working with. The anchor is talking about this top. Right now it's selecting the top right, so everything will move from the left towards the right and to the bottom. That may be kind of hard to that's kind of hard to explain, so let me just show you. If I change the width and the height to 300 by 300 pixels with a top left anchor, now you'll see that WordPress is, let me zoom out here, WordPress is still in the top left of this work area. So if you need to make your canvas size larger, you can do that. In my case, I actually don't want it larger, I want it smaller. So I'm going to undo that, and to make this a little smaller, I can use this crop tool here right next to the move arrow. Let me zoom in a little bit. If I click on the crop tool and you select the area you want, whoops, cut. Let me try that again. Select the area that you want in the top. I'm at 0. I'm trying to hit 0, 0 and the XY coordinates to make it right on the very corner. Okay, and I drag this to the entire word and just select only the words here. Okay, and then after you let go, you can hit enter and that'll crop everything out. So now the logo looks pretty good. What I can do now is go up to File, hit File, and click Save. And you have two options. You can either save it on your computer or in the Pixlr library if you have an account, but I'm going to save it on my computer. I'm going to keep the name. And now this is important. The format, you want to change this for a logo anyway. You want to change this to where you have a transparent background. So if you click on PNG, you'll see that white background disappear. And that'll look much better on your website if you have a colored background. Click Save. I'm going to save this to my desktop, so click that there. Now the image is saved. So what I can do now is go back to my dashboard, and let me go back here. If you click on header options, or if you're at the beginning, you click on main options, click on header options, and then this is where we can change our logo. We'll click select image, click on the upload files tab, and then click select files. Go to our desktop, and there should be our logo right there. Click that and click the open button. Okay, there it is. I'm gonna click on this red button down here, choose image. So it's selected the logo, but it's not appearing yet, so you have to choose show header logo only, and it'll appear right there. That looks pretty good. All the colors match with the site, so I'm going to hit save and publish. And if you go back to your website and hit refresh up here, you'll see your new logo. Okay, yep, that looks pretty good. So next thing we're going to do is go over how to create an icon for the top here, and that will actually appear in your browser as well as on a mobile phone. So if we go back to our customize area and go back to site identity and go back to site identity here, if we click on that, here you'll see I skipped over this in the last video, site icon. You'll notice that your site icon can be used as your browser or an app icon, and it must be at least 512 pixels wide and tall. So it's got to be a perfect square, and it's got to be 512, which is pretty big compared to our logo. So if we go back to Pixlr here, and we can go ahead and exit this, and we already saved it, so click no here and click on create a new image. And the first thing we'll have to do is change the size. So we want to change this width and height to both be 512, and then check transparent and click OK. Okay, so now we got this huge canvas to work with. We can stretch it out a little bit if we want. First thing I want to do here is I want to change this color from black to the red color that is used on the site. So if I go to my customize options, I'm going to copy this color code for the red here, go back to Pixlr, and then I'm going to change this color, hit Command V or Control V, and there it is. Okay, and if I go to the paint bucket tool, I can actually paint this area the red color. So our background color is now red. Now I'm going to click the A tool, click somewhere on here, type in PDF. Okay, and I'm going to change this to that Roboto font style. Okay, change the color here to white. Remember that's 6 Fs. And change the font size now to as big as I can here. Alright, and I'm going to put this in the middle. Now you'll notice that there's actually quite a bit of space around here, and that's one disadvantage to Pixlr, is that you can't make your font size as big as you want to. And I'm going to show you, if you run into this problem, I'm going to show you what you can do. If you click on image, canvas size, and then put our anchor point in the middle here, we can change our width and height to a square. We'll do 300 by 300. See how that works. Would like it to be a little bigger than that, so let me change this to 256. 256. Click OK. Alright, that's pretty close to what I want. So I don't know, that's kind of weird. If I move PDF there to the middle, and if I go ahead and click merge down, kind of makes it a little off center, so you might have to move it around some more. You can move the PDF back in the middle. What that did was merge the two layers, the PDF and the background layer. Now this icon still isn't big enough, so if we go to image and image size and we resize it back to 512, that'll stretch the icon out to the correct size for the website. If we go to file, save it on my computer as PNG. Now click OK and save it on the desktop. Okay, now what we can do is put this on our website. So we can go back to the customize options, go back to the beginning under site identity, and then select image, the upload files tab, select files, and on our desktop we should have our icon there. It's 512 by 512, and then hit select. Okay, now it's selected. So if we hit save and publish, and if you go back to your website, if it's not showing up right away, if you hit refresh, then you should see your new icon up here in the browser. So that concludes this video. You got a new logo and a new icon for your website. In the next video, we will discuss how to create new pages and blog posts and discuss the difference between those. And we'll see you there.